Hey guys, what is up? It's Kat here, and I'm really upset because this is our last, well, maybe not. I have high hopes that there could be a season 2, but for now, our last review of the Book of Boba Fett season finale. I can't believe, these 7 weeks have flown by. I'm honestly so upset that it's over. But truly, after this episode, I've got to say I feel confident that they could announce that there is going to be a second season. I mean, this finale, I feel satisfied with this as a conclusion to this season. Everything got resolved, including even Grogu and Luke's storyline there, with Grogu showing up with the little armor. Oh my god, stop. We're going to talk about it. But I went into this finale thinking they have a lot of loose ends to tie up, and I don't know how they're going to do this. But then when I opened Disney Plus and saw that 61-minute timer for this episode, I was like, yo, okay. And they did it, because I've this entire time just been like, when is this all-out war with the Pikes gonna go down? They've been building up to this the entirety of the season. When is it gonna happen? They're saving it now for the final episode, but honestly, this episode proved me wrong, because I was thinking that this war was gonna span across several episodes, but there was so much action. They honestly did have an all-out war that we had been waiting for this entire season, and they did it within the span of one episode. And honestly, it was naive of me to think that it could have gone on any longer, because the Pikes turned this into Clone Wars Part 2 with those droids, with those shields. The all-out action in this episode, and honestly the highlight of it being the dynamic duo of Din and Boba Fett. And I am certain now, after seeing this, that Boba Fett is going to be included more thoroughly in Mandalorian season 3. I mean, they can't have those two being total badasses together, setting them up as badass besties with their little jetpacks, their armor, Boba being I don't buy into all of that, Mandalorian creed stuff, but Din, supporting him anyway, and, invoking the creed and being I'm gonna be there for you, bro. And then Boba being oh. I cannot imagine that they would set these two up for the action that they had together in this finale, which especially we didn't see really in, we saw a little bit of it in Mandalorian season 2, but Mandalorian season 2 finale, Boba Fett zaps out of there, he does his role and then he pieces out. So he's not around for all of that action there at that finale. So this one really was the first time we see just him and Din doing their thing, being jetpack brothers. I love that this episode also addressed, something that I had been concerned about, which is the fact that the previous 2 episodes have relegated Boba to a background character. He hasn't, been involved. The finale for not just this show, but his arc in general was all riding on this episode, and I felt like they had kind of, abandoned him a little bit to obviously focus on cool things. I'm not complaining a single bit. They still had a lot of work to do, I feel like, with Boba's, character, and I feel like his confrontation with Cad Bane was huge reckoning for him. Boba literally, to have this character the whole season, thinking that they want to be better than what they previously were. They want to live a different life. They want to turn a new page, turn a new leaf. That has been Boba's, goal this entire season, trying to take over the city in a more civilized way. And then this person from his past comes back into his life and does exactly what he, was aiming to do, which is to instigate Boba, to get him to snap a little bit, which is what we had all been waiting for this season. And he does, and he gives in. And I think he had no choice. Cad Bane wasn't going to let him walk away. So but it's exactly what Cad Bane wanted him to do, because his dying words were, I knew you were a killer. And that moment after, Boba really had to sit with that and realize, who he just killed, listen to those words and realize, that's a little bit true. This entire show, he's been fighting against that, but he taps in his roots. Cad Bane did exactly what he set out to do. In that moment, even if he was dying, in his dying breath, he knows that he got to Boba, and that's it made me feel a little bit bad for Boba Fett, because it kind of recalls what Fennec Shand was saying to him in episode 4. She says people like us, we can never really change. We can never leave this line of work. This is always going to be part of us, in reference to, their bounty hunter, just who they are, their profession. This whole season, Boba has wanted to believe that he had risen above that. And yes, he's not, a bounty hunter anymore, but the way that he took out Cad Bane, I mean, that's exactly what Cad Bane wanted, and it made his point, acknowledging what he did, and acknowledging that that part of him is always going to be there. That killer, he can snap into that. So I thought that confrontation with Cad Bane was the perfect way to cap off Boba's arc. We all knew it all along. Like, I'm not acting like I'm the only person who suspected this here, but of course, yes, the Pikes were freaking involved with taking out the Tusken Raiders, and honestly, the fact that Boba didn't realize it before surprises me, but whatever. I just wanted him to learn in this episode so that he could go ham. But anyways, I think another highlight of this episode, of course, was Grogu choosing the armor, which of course we all knew was going to happen. I am a little bit surprised that Luke didn't get involved there. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't imagine Luke Skywalker, like, he cares about children, I hope, and to the point that he wouldn't put little Grogu just like in a ship by himself with R2-D2. Like, I trust R2, but like, I wouldn't do that. I don't know. This is not me shading R2-D2. This is me like being just shocked that Luke, you know, he's clearly got time on his hands. Like, he can go off world for a hot second to drop off like his student who reminds him so much of his master. I mean, maybe he was just too salty that Grogu chose the armor. I mean, that was really cute to see him wearing it. Like, oh, I almost broke down. But honestly, I don't know. I feel like after this episode, like, Din seeing Grogu's potential and how much he had grown. I mean, just even the juxtaposition of Grogu and Mandalorian season 1 fighting off the mudhorn thing. He put the mudhorn to sleep when Din was in danger. That thing was a fraction of the size of this Rancor. But even as an audience member, I'm like, I love that he chose the armor because he obviously loves Din and Din is like his dad. But it made me a little bit like, I don't want you, you have so much power, you can be a great Jedi. But at the same time, I didn't like the ultimatum that Luke gave him in order to be a Jedi. Like, I thought we had moved past the whole anti-attachments thing, and I just think it's a little bit hypocritical that Luke Skywalker, who clearly has a sister and Han Solo and a nephew in his life, like people that he loves, I think it's a bit weird that he would make Grogu forsake his only guardian, like protective like figure, while Luke still has those people in his life. Like, I don't know. All of this just seems very out of character for Luke. I don't know. I feel like, you know, I myself felt that, like, as much as I want you to be with Din, I want you to also like hone your power because you could be a really amazing Jedi. But at the same time, this is also a way for you to avoid dying in the Jedi Temple when the sequels roll around. So, but I can imagine Din not wanting him to lose that, not wanting him to give that up because he has so much power and he's still not even like fully grown. Like, he's still a little baby. So they need to just sit down with Luke and have a talk and be like, listen, can we just have joint custody, please? But of course, yes, the Rancor. Seeing Boba riding it was, I mean, everybody predicted that that's what was going to be happening. Totally badass. But yeah, I think overall my favorite part of this episode, or at least one of it, was like seeing kind of a reasoning for why Boba has had a change of heart and why he wants to sit on the throne, like why he desires the throne so badly when he could go off and do whatever he really wants. I've been curious kind of the whole season, like why he wanted the throne so badly, like why he killed Bib Fortuna in the light of day. This episode really solidified, like, he cares about Tatooine and the people, and he doesn't want, yes, he wants to be the crime lord, but he doesn't want the crime to overtake the world itself. He wants to control the crime world in a way that it won't interfere with, you know, the planet and won't have, you know, the Pikes wreaking havoc, you know, inciting fear. This episode in general just like made everything make sense, I feel like, for Boba's character. Everything he's been trying to shed this season and everything he's been trying to achieve and what Tatooine actually like really means to him and what he wants the throne to be. And I think it was the perfect conclusion to this season while setting up, I genuinely think that there could be a season 2. I'm sorry, but after this, I don't know. I feel like there's a chance that there could be a season 2, but if there is not, I am satisfied with this finale. Like, I feel like it was the perfect cap. It successfully reintegrated Boba, the title character, back, you know, into the storyline, into the plot, made it about him and his internal demons and his goals for Tatooine and his goal as crime lord, and that's really all I wanted after, you know, the previous 2 episodes that didn't focus as heavily on Boba Fett, but I wanted them to tie it back into him and really complete his arc here, and I feel like they did that. Perfect tease with Cobb Vanth, literally, thank God he's alive. I was about to break down, but I had to keep it together for the sake of my reaction when they insinuated that he had died, because all week I had been telling myself that he had been shot in the shoulder and that he was going to be fine, but no, like, he actually was a little bit dead, I guess. So they brought the mod dude in to fix him, so now Cobb and Fennec are going to be mod buddies, and it's going to be great. So I'm taking this as a good sign that Cobb Vanth could be making an appearance in Mandalorian season 3. That's it. I'm sad that it's over. I'm literally gonna go cry that this show has already come to an end. I wish it was longer than 7 episodes, but I say that about everything Star Wars because I'm just selfish and I always just want more. But I feel like this was the perfect finale to bring it all together and just bring it home and bring it back to the title character and complete Boba Fett's arc. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Do you want there to be a 2nd season? Do you feel like there needs to be? But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me for all these reactions and reviews. I'm really upset that it's over. I'm so sad. Thank you guys so much for watching. May the force be with you guys always, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye guys.